Hello, hello, and welcome to episode 208 of the Compassion and Cucumbers podcast. I'm Christine.
And I'm Sam.
Here's what's coming up in today's show. In this week's Y-Files, we're looking into why some skunks are losing their stripes.
In our Noteworthy segment, the New York Transit Union is suing an animal rights group, claiming they initiated a smear campaign against carriage drivers.
And in our main topic, we're taking another ride on the Vegan Reddit Am I the Asshat train.
Oh, gotta love that.
Woo, woo, all aboard.
It's been a while.
Yes, it has. I'm looking forward to this. These are usually pretty fun.
They are.
Yeah.
And this one's definitely overdue.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Before we get into all of that, all those shenanigans, what have we been up to?
Not a whole lot. No, seriously. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and try to make like our lives are exciting.
We are so exciting.
We're really not.
We really haven't been up to a whole lot. Winter's coming. We've had a little bit of snow here and there.
Yeah.
It's been windy.
Yeah.
So the Mother Nature's blown all the leaves off the trees, which is kind of
Yes,
fun.
indeed.
Oh, something I wanted to mention since we were talking about the Miyoko's Shinner trying to buy her company back, and we all know that bid was not accepted, which is very, very sad.
Yes.
But now I am seeing people posting that their products are disappearing from shelves. They're discontinuing
Really?
everything. Yeah.
Wow.
Also, people said, because we don't buy those products anymore, ever since they kind of did her wrong,
Yeah.
that the quality of the products has
Slipped.
significantly.
Well, it wouldn't
Yeah.
surprise me. You know, you take the mastermind, you take the driving force behind an organization out
Yeah.
of the equation, and it's almost inevitable.
Yeah, they're going to cut corners to try and make things,
More profitable.
more profitable.
Yes, it's capitalism at its finest.
Absolutely. So yeah, we really haven't been up to a whole lot. So let's just jump into this episode because we got a lot to cover here.
Let's do it then.
Let's go into this week's Y-Files. This comes to us from National Geographic. Skunks can lose their stripes, and now we might know why. Although they've long been known for their distinctive coats, a new study examines why some skunks are evolving to have different fur patterns. Sometimes conducting research means trekking into remote locales, braving wild beasts, and surviving treacherous weather. Other times you may find yourself gently combing the fur of several hundred dead skunks.
Oh,
That's unfortunate.
yeah.
The things you do for science, right? Laughs Ted Stankovich, an evolutionary behavioral ecologist at California State University, Long Beach. Stankovich studies apposematism, or warning colorations like the bright colors that adorn coral snakes and poison dart frogs. Striped skunks, native to much of North America, sport some of the most recognizable colorations on the planet, with jet black fur and white racing stripes that run from head to tail. It's a warning to predators that they have a strong, stinky defense, he says. But Stankovich and others have noticed something curious about striped skunks. The animals can possess different patterns, from a small patch of white on their heads to bold white stripes that merge into a cape-like pattern. There can even be all white or all black animals. This is odd, since the more consistent your signal, the more the predator gets one image in their head and knows to avoid you, he says. Now, a study published by Stankovich and his college today in the Journal of Evolution may explain these varying patterns and how we humans may be influencing them. Armed with scent glands that can squirt sulfuric secretions into a predator's eyeballs, skunks are fortunate to not have as many natural predators as other similarly sized animals. Their foes generally include mountain lions, coyotes, jaguars, and bobcats, which are either hungry enough to risk the spray or who come upon a skunk with markings that don't accurately convey the threat posed. Interestingly, great horned owls don't have a strong sense of smell, says Stankovich, and this may be one reason why they take down more skunks than most other predators. By photographing 749 striped skunk skins in museums across the continent, Stankovich and colleagues recorded factors such as stripe length, pattern symmetry, and then compared them with other variables such as the environments the animals and their potential predators inhabited. In the end, they verified a hunch. In areas that have a really strong predation risk, both from birds and mammals, you get a much more consistent traditional black animal with 2 long white stripes on the body, said Stankovich. But the really cool thing we were hoping to find that we did find was that as predation risk declines, you get much more variations in a skunk's stripes, he said. That makes sense because if there aren't many predators around, there's less selection for strong warning stripes to get passed on through the generations. And so those fringe pattern animals can leave more copies of their fringe genes in the next generation. And therefore, you get wider and wider variation in stripe patterns, said Stankovich. Jim Barnett, a behavioral ecologist at Trinity College Dublin in Ireland, says research on animal warning colors often focuses on small geographic areas or how specific predators interact with specific prey. That's why he's impressed by the continent-level scope of the new study. Studies like this give you this idea that we have this mosaic of selection pressures over North America, says Barnett, who is not affiliated with the research. Since people have hunted or outright eliminated predators across the United States, from mountain lions to wolves, it's logical to ask if humans are to blame for skunks starting to look less skunk-like. I don't want to go so far as to say that humans are the cause of this variation by extirpating predators, says Stankovich, but we certainly aren't helping. For one, he said the study found a link between less predators and skunk stripe variation, not causation. Similarly, with museum specimens only representing skunks from the last 100 years, it's difficult to make any conclusions about long-term patterns. There's been a complex history of huge mega predators in North America that are no longer here, says Stankovich. So it's hard to say what the predation landscape looked like thousands of years ago and how it might affect skunks now. So here we are, humans, and while it hasn't been proven, it seems pretty cut and dry that the fact that there are less predators in the wild, now the skunks do not feel the need to warn anybody that they can be stinky.
I personally think that's kind of cool.
I mean, in a way it's cool, and in a way it's kind of sad, because it's good for the skunks. We've eliminated their predators.
Well, I'm not saying that the elimination of any group of animals is a good thing.
Yeah.
Of course not.
No,
But
of course not.
It is entertaining for me to hear about the kind of the outcome of evolution.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying that aspect of it.
It's
Just
really-
the fact that, even in the past 100 years,
Yeah.
skunks have started to adapt to variations in their environment,
Yeah.
and that fewer predators is causing them to develop different fur patterns. I think that's kind of neat.
Yeah, I think it's fascinating. Now, a friend of mine who keeps a trail cam on her property has witnessed this. She has skunks that come around, and she had one very large skunk that used to come around that had no white on him at all, except a little bit like on the tip of his nose.
Oh,
Yeah. So she said he was kind of hard. Sometimes at night you couldn't tell what he was because of the lack of markings.
sure.
Until he turned around and his big bushy tail kind
yeah.
of proved what he was. But yeah, it is kind of fascinating that how the skunks, and I'm sure other animals with warning colors, are evolving.
Well, it stands to reason that
Yeah.
if they're seeing this in one particular species, that the same kind of things might be happening in other species as well, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really cool.
Well, I thought that was Y-File worthy. Let's move on to our Noteworthy segment.
All right, this is coming to us from AM New York. Saddle up for court. Why Transit Union is suing animal rights group over the NYC horse carriage industry fight. The battle between horse-drawn carriage drivers and animal rights activists continues, and the latest episode in the saga is heading to court. The Transport Workers Union, or TWU of America, announced on Monday that it filed a lawsuit in a Manhattan State Supreme Court against NY Class, alleging the animal advocacy group slandered horse-drawn carriage drivers as evil animal abusers through years of malicious lies and misinformation. While animal rights activists have long called for an end to horse-drawn carriage rides in New York City, TWU Local 100 and NY Class have been at odds throughout 2025 after a string of high-profile horse deaths rocked New York City. TWU has denied abuse and claims the horses died of natural causes. NY Class held rallies and press conferences throughout 2025, many of which were attended by protesters who said the industry is cruel to the animals. TWU took NY Class to court, saying the group spreads false information about how the animals are treated. TWU Local 100 represents between 200 and 300 carriage drivers in the city. NY Class has promoted a false narrative for far too long, TWU International President John Samuelson said. It has demonized a whole class of workers, mostly immigrants who came to New York City for the American dream, as animal abusers, and that is absolutely false. Samuelson has maintained that the horses receive a healthy diet and veterinary care and are treated humanely. The Central Park horse carriage drivers take good care of their horses, and independent equine veterinarians over the years have consistently attested that to be true, he said. There is no systemic neglect or abuse going on. Period. At the center of the controversy is not only the well-being of horses, but Riders Law, the nickname of City Council Intro 967. If enacted, the legislation would wind down and end the horse-drawn carriage industry in New York City. The bill, introduced by Queens Councilmember Robert Holden, is named after Ryder, a horse who collapsed in Hell's Kitchen in 2022 during a heat wave, sparking outrage from animal advocates. Ryder later died of cancer in October that year. More recently, another horse, named Lady, collapsed and died from an aortic rupture near Times Square. NY Class told malicious lies about Lady, according to court papers. NY Class also told the media that Lady was worked to death, continuing NY Class's ongoing pattern of malicious misrepresentation, the suit alleges. Meanwhile, AITA Bernkrant, executive director of NY Class, who is at many rallies against the horse-drawn carriage industry, said the organization has not yet been served with the lawsuit. This appears to be a desperate attempt by a failing business brought low by its own actions, she said. For years, New Yorkers and people around the world have witnessed horses collapsing and even dying on our streets, spooking and running wild in traffic and in Central Park, crashing into cars and injuring people. Bernkrant referenced Chicago and other cities that have shut down the horse carriage industry. Cities around the world have already phased out or shut down horse-drawn carriages, and more are continuing to do so every year to protect public safety and animal welfare, she said. Polls in recent years have consistently shown that an overwhelming majority of New Yorkers agree with this common-sense worldwide trend and support removing horse carriages from Midtown. The lawsuit seeks in excess of $1 million in damages, with the final amount to be determined in court if NY Class is found liable.
I think it's high time that we end the horse-drawn carriage thing anywhere, but especially in large metropolitan areas where these horses they're spending, hour after hour on hot pavement with traffic whizzing by.
Oh, yes.
And, it's cruel. Whether the horses are considered to be well cared for, the act of the carriage pulling people around a modern city is cruel.
I'm inclined to agree with that statement. And I certainly hope that the horses are well taken care of and that they receive proper veterinary care as TWU claims.
Yeah.
I really hope that that's the case.
I'm sure some of them do, and I'm sure some of them don't.
Well, that's likely, unfortunately. But I really do think it is time for this kind of practice to come to an end.
Yeah.
I understand the kind of nostalgic, romantic idea of the horse-drawn carriage,
right,
through Central Park or through Midtown. And perhaps once when horse-drawn carriages were the primary means of transportation in the city, it made sense to have horse-drawn carriages for hire as you would a taxi nowadays. Or
I suppose it was a means of transportation, yes.
Yes, certainly. But I think its time has passed.
It certainly has. And I think we've all seen the photos of the poor horses that have succumbed or collapsed in traffic. And it's really a frightening scene.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yes, I hope that this lawsuit is not successful. I don't see how it really could be. And it's interesting how in the article, the union states over and over how these activists have, slandered them and misrepresented them, but they're never specific.
Well, I have a feeling that in order to get that information, you would have to actually read the details of the lawsuit.
Possibly. And maybe because it's an ongoing case, they aren't releasing some of that
Right.
information.
They aren't at liberty to release that information. Yeah.
But hey, we're on the side of the animal activists.
Indeed.
For sure. It's time now for our main topic. That's right. We are revisiting Am I the Asshat Vegan Edition. And these are always a treat.
So our first question comes from Rocket Person 47. Am I the asshat for bringing a meat-based product to my vegan friends' dinner? I, 22-year-old female, was invited to a group dinner hosted by my friend Hannah, who is 23, who's vegan. In the message, she said, it would be awesome if you could all bring plant-based dishes so everyone can try everything. I didn't think it was a rule. I saw it more like a suggestion. I am from Chile and my friends love our food, so I decided to bring empanadas de pino, non-vegan, and sopapillas con pebre, which are vegan. I made sure to put a visible tag that showed the vegan and non-vegan food. She didn't try any of the dishes I brought. At the dinner, Hannah looked really upset and later texted me that I was really disrespectful for bringing animal products into her home. I apologized, but I also didn't think it was that big of a deal since I didn't force her to eat it, and I brought a food that she could also eat. Also, mind you, we've already eaten non-vegan food there plenty of times, so I would have never guessed it would be such a problem. Am I the asshat? Guys, it was not a small dinner with friends. We were 27 people there, and there were over 20 different dishes to choose from, with most of them being vegan.
So what do you think? Do you think that Rocket Person 47 is an asshat for bringing those empanadas?
I don't know if I would go so far as to say asshat, but I would definitely say inconsiderate. I believe that if you are going to a vegan's home and you are planning to introduce a food or a product that contains animal materials, you should ask their permission.
Yeah, I mean...
Say, hey, I'd really like to make empanadas, but they're not vegan. Is that okay with you? It seems to me a very simple question that could have avoided all the drama.
Especially since the message that she sent said it would be awesome if you could all bring a plant-based dish so everyone can try.
She specifically specified a plant-based dish.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily think that there was intent. I don't think that this was malicious in any way.
No, I think it's just not thinking.
No, exactly. It's a lack of consideration.
Right. Inconsiderate.
Yeah. So I'm not ready to go full on asshat, but maybe just consider how your friend would feel, how your vegan friend would feel about you bringing animal products into their home. And if you're not sure, just ask.
Yeah, then ask.
It's really simple.
Is it okay if I bring some non-vegan empanadas?
Right. And if they say no, respect that.
You don't bring them.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's, I don't know, quarter cheeker.
If that, I just think it was thoughtless.
Yeah. It was definitely thoughtless.
Yeah, it's thoughtless. I don't think it's asshat worthy.
Yeah. Now, the people on Reddit disagree with us.
They do.
They have, this is asshat poo mode.
It does say that.
Which is the highest rating of asshat you can be on Reddit.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I think Reddit is looking just way too hard. They just want people to be asshats. I prefer our more reasoned approach. Yeah. Personally.
Yeah. This comes from
It's Sophia baby.
Yes, this comes from It's Sophia baby XO. Am I the asshat for refusing to eat at a vegan restaurant? My boyfriend is vegan and I'm not. We're both pretty adamant about our stances on this topic. So here's what happened. We spontaneously got together the other evening, and he wanted to go out and get some burgers. So he mentioned a place he saw on his route to work. We get there, and I'm going through the self-help machine, and I notice all the burgers have a weird spelling of the meat, like chick-un or bake-un. When he showed me the menu on his phone earlier at his place, when he suggested this place, I saw that hamburger was spelled normal, and it still was on the machine. But I was still suspicious. So I asked my boyfriend, is any of this real meat? He shrugged, then repeated my question to a buddy behind the counter who informed us their menu is strictly plant-based. I got annoyed, looked at my boyfriend and said, why would you take me here? And he said he didn't know that it was only plant-based stuff, but I could still try it. I said, feel free to order something for yourself, but I'm not eating here. I'll get myself something to eat somewhere else. And he got annoyed, and we walked out, and then he was upset. And he started saying how he always has to sacrifice what he eats so I can eat stuff that I like, and that he was excited about actually having options to pick from, and that he wanted to try this place with me, and how this proves how much he does for me to keep me happy, and how I don't reciprocate and keep repeating how he always sacrifices. Whew. Punctuation, people.
Seriously.
That was a long sentence. Anyway, we went and got pizza.
Okay.
My favorite pizza place just happened to be around the corner. I thought it was water under the bridge, but this was a couple of days ago when we last saw each other. And when we talked on the phone today for our nightly phone call, he brought it up again. So it's bothering him. My point of view is he made the choice to be vegan. That's an active choice he makes, not me. So I shouldn't be forced to eat vegan stuff. I've tried plant-based meat and I do not like it. It does not taste good to me. It's not appealing. It's not appetizing. He mentioned taking me to a plant-based or vegetarian place before, and I always refuse and tell him I need non-vegetarian and non-vegan options. I make sacrifices too. There's tons of places I want to go with him that doesn't have vegan options. And now I can't just go to a restaurant, and I always have to make sure that there's vegan options. When I cook for us, I always have to make 2 meals, and the ingredients I need to make his meals, I just don't have lying around in my kitchen. I have to go buy them, and they're quite expensive. Like egg replacements, tofu, non-dairy milk, cream or butter. So I go out of my way to get the stuff for him. When he cooks for me, he doesn't cook me a non-vegan option. I have to eat his vegan meal, and most of the time he makes me meals that require very little alteration, like spaghetti or stews. So I can suck it up for a night, but I don't take him places with no vegan options. Am I the asshat? Oh my gosh, this is drama.
It is drama. Okay, so first, not exactly. Again, this is just a lack of consideration for the people that you're around. Okay, so I feel for the boyfriend a little bit just because we also know what it feels like to want to have options.
Yeah.
And that it feels really good to walk into a fully vegan place and know that you can order anything on the menu.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a privilege that when we were omnivores, we didn't even realize we had.
Right.
Until we went vegan and then we went, whoa, we can't eat anything.
Right.
Like anywhere.
Yeah.
And she's right in that it's a choice that we make.
Yeah.
And that he cannot make that choice for her. That's fine. That's absolutely true.
Yeah, absolutely correct.
But maybe she, as his girlfriend, could understand that desire to share an eating experience
Yeah.
with a partner.
Yeah.
And as she says herself, suck it up for a night. You know, there are going to be far more instances. And it sounds to me like when you suggest a restaurant that is not fully vegan but has maybe a couple of vegan options,
Yeah.
he goes along with it.
Yeah. He seems perfectly
He
fine
doesn't
with
seem
that.
to insist that you always go to fully plant-based
Yeah.
restaurants.
Yeah.
And so I think it would just make sense in your situation for you to take turns suggesting restaurants when you go out.
Yeah.
And maybe say, okay, I, the non-vegan, I, the omnivore, am choosing the restaurant, but I will make sure
Yeah.
that there are vegan options.
Yeah, she seems really inconsiderate when she's
Yes.
talking about having to go out of her way to buy vegan things to make him a meal and having to make 2 meals. Why not just like make a stir fry
Right.
with tofu and both of you eat it? I don't understand why
Right.
she has to make 2 meals.
Well,
you know?
either that or, she really wants meat. So,
guess
okay,
so.
but you could still do the stir fry.
Right, maybe cook up
And maybe cook up either, an animal
product.
flesh in one pan and then tofu in another.
Yeah.
That's not that hard.
right.
Slightly inconvenient, perhaps. But
Yeah.
then when the boyfriend is cooking, he just makes something that they can both eat and enjoy.
Right, like she said, like spaghetti.
Yeah. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with spaghetti.
right.
Yeah. So again, I don't think we're 100% to asshat,
Yeah.
but certainly inconsiderate.
Yeah, I mean, somebody posted that they felt like he was deceiving her about that first restaurant.
Well, yes. I
Yeah.
mean, but the thing is, I always take things like that with a grain of salt because that is, this person who is wondering if they're being an asshat. It's their framing of the situation.
And and this person said that he didn't know that it was 100% plant-based. He said that.
Okay.
He didn't know that.
Well, maybe he did and maybe he didn't. I don't
Yeah.
know. Wasn't there.
Yeah.
Not inside his brain.
So it didn't sound like he was being deceptive.
I hope not.
Yeah.
If he was being deceptive about it, if he was saying, oh, let's go to this place, they've got great vegan options.
Yeah.
And she gets there and there's no omnivorous options.
Yeah.
Well, I can understand feeling a little bit incensed.
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute, that I always refuse to go to fully plant-based places.
Right.
Now you've tricked me into it and I'm ticked off.
Tricked me into trying to eat chicken and bacon.
Yes, exactly. So, actually, so the question is, am I the asshat for refusing to eat at a vegan restaurant? I'm going to say a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, well, the same person that posted that the boyfriend was being slightly deceptive also said, but you're also being a little whiny about eating vegan food.
Yeah.
There's tons of vegan things that most omnivores can eat regularly, like peanut butter and jelly or
Right.
French fries or salads or
Right.
chips or salsa or guac. And they list all these other things. It doesn't have to always be mock meats and tofu,
Right.
which is a great point.
Yes.
Many plant-based restaurants, maybe not this particular burger place, have entrees that aren't based around vegan meats, replacer products. So,
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, and that makes me think that her view of the food world
yeah,
is not necessarily omnivorous, it's more carnivorous.
exactly.
If she's placing that much importance on the idea of meat and meat replacers.
Yeah, and she seems to have this idea about vegan food that it's all about meat replacers.
Which it most certainly isn't.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I say, yeah, she's an asshat. But
Yeah. I mean, this is, again, not the full-on asshat poo mode, I don't think.
Yeah.
But this is definitely edging towards asshat for me.
yeah, agreed. Let's move on.
Story number 3. This is coming to us from Asian Torontonian 88. Am I the asshat for telling a vegetarian to get his own food?
Already, I don't have a whole lot of hope for this person.
I'm curious. Okay. Last week, I treated my team and the team that we were working with on a project for lunch at work to be paid out of a budget I was allocated. In order not to blow that budget, I asked for any diet restrictions instead of specific menu items, and one guy said he's vegetarian. So I got Thai food to be shared family style, including 3 things that didn't contain meat: a curry, a papaya salad, and a noodle dish. As we ate, a member of the team mentioned how much he likes Thai food because of the fish sauce, and the vegetarians started questioning the food choices. I tried it, and the papaya salad definitely had fish sauce. I asked him if he was vegan, and he said no, but fish sauce is made from fish, so he shouldn't be eating it as a vegetarian. Correct me if I'm wrong, but vegetarians simply don't eat animal or seafood flesh. Vegans are the ones who also don't eat animal or seafood byproducts like cheese, eggs, or in this case, fish sauce. Anyway, he made a stink about how I should have asked the restaurant for ingredient lists and consulted everyone before ordering. I wasn't going to run a menu-wide ingredient list with 15 people before placing a lunch order. Since then, I've heard him make random remarks about how I messed up his diet. Yesterday, he asked a coworker to pick up lunch, and I blurted out, "Since you have such specific dietary needs that we can mess up, you should go get your own food." Well, this morning I got called by HR. I wasn't written up, but I was talked to about being careful not to discriminate against anyone.
Indeed.
So am I the asshat? Edit. Fair enough on fish sauce not being vegetarian. I guess I have a lot of vegetarian friends who come out to eat Asian food and just let it slide. By the way, I did not let the guy go hungry. I ordered 3 things off the restaurant's vegetarian menu, and all 3 were listed as not containing pieces of meat. I am not his boss, nor am I in any way able to influence his career in the company.
Good thing.
Am I the asshat? I'm sorry, but yeah.
He got snarky. The person got snarky about it. If he or she hadn't gotten snarky about it in the end, like get your own food, I would say no.
Right.
This is just...
It's a simple mistake.
Yeah, it's a simple mistake and
Yeah.
not realizing that, yes, fish sauce is not vegetarian.
Right.
And sure, I'm sure there are some vegetarians that would just let that slide, but this particular vegetarian does not.
Yes.
So he, at that point, should have just said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know."
Yeah.
And that should have been the end of it.
I agree.
But to make a big stink about it.
Yes.
And
Well, and so to that end, I would say that, maybe the vegetarian shouldn't have been gossiping about, "Oh, this dude completely ruined my diet." Okay. So there was one little slip up and you move on. That's not a big deal. It's entirely possible that vegetarians and vegans consume accidental products every now and again.
Yeah.
And so, you have to make a little bit of allowance for that. And, the fact that the person ordering the food did consciously order things that were listed as not containing meat. So, okay there.
yeah.
I think it was really the snarkiness that turned him into an asshat.
Yeah. And
Or turned them
that's-
into an asshat because we don't know the gender of the author.
that's what one responder said. Since you have such a specific dietary need that we can mess up, you should go get your own food. This person said this was totally unnecessary.
Yes.
I might have said that you're just sort of ignorant, but this comment definitely puts you over the top into asshat territory.
For sure.
And that's my thoughts exactly.
I think that's a perfect summation. Yes.
Yeah, it's the reaction to the whole thing.
Right. It's not the food. It's not the fish sauce. That's just a simple mistake, not
Yeah.
a big deal. But the snarkiness afterwards, that's not cool.
Yeah. Moving on. This one comes to us from beginning AD 8212. Am I the asshat for forcing family to cook purely vegetarian meals to please one person? Hi. My partner recently moved into my house with her 2 children. The move itself was rushed and required that we both get rid of a lot of things and compromise on how we're going to use space. We both had our own sizable homes, etc. Nothing unusual about 2 middle-aged adults with successful careers and teenage children. My partner is a vegetarian, and she chooses that largely for ethical reasons. I understand that. However, I don't share her ethical beliefs, but I do try to respect them by reducing our meat intake, buying from farmers markets, and generally reducing the amount of animal cruelty and abuse in our diet. There are definitely meals that she doesn't like us to make in the house, especially things that generate strong meat-based odors. Over time, I figured out which ones are no-goes and things I have to make outside. I understand that some compromise is needed to allow everyone to be happy. We have the schedule now where everyone in the house helps with the cooking. I cook 2 days a week, she cooks 1 day a week, busy schedule, and our kids cook twice a week with leftovers on the other days. Mostly it's been working. I can't believe they got the kids to cook twice a week.
Seriously, that's awesome.
That is awesome. The one sticking point we have that has proven really difficult is that she insists some meals be made fully vegetarian, even when some of the kids don't want to eat vegetarian. I've tried to get around this by cooking fully vegetarian meals and then adding some sort of separately cooked meat supplement. Or generating menus like tostadas or sandwiches where there could be both vegetarian and meat options. To be clear, we do cook some fully vegetarian meals, but sometimes not everyone's in the mood for that. The meals we make are not just vegetarian side dishes. We try to make fully incorporated vegetarian meals with options that are not just mac and cheese, so I don't think we're doing her a huge disservice by making meat sides. So my question is this: am I the asshat for not wanting to force the kids to eat vegetarian just so that some of the meals are fully vegetarian? I don't want to get into a big fight about this with her, but I feel like if the shoe was on the other foot and I told her that some meals had to be fully meat inclusive, that they would be a deal breaker for sure. To be clear, I have never suggested this. Thoughts?
I love that turnaround at the end, just because that way of thinking to me is not particularly valid. You're talking about someone who has eliminated the consumption of meat, if not all animal products, but meat from their diet for ethical reasons.
Right.
Your continuation of eating animals is not an ethical choice. If you don't agree with her ethical choice, that's fine, but you still need to respect it by saying some meals need to be fully meat inclusive. You are disrespecting her ethics.
Yeah.
So this is apples and oranges. Really.
Yeah, it
the
kinda
comparison is apples and oranges.
Yeah.
So I do agree with the author that everyone has the right to choose what they consume and what they don't. So understanding that, okay, well, maybe the kids aren't always interested in a vegetarian meal on a particular night.
Yeah.
Okay. But at the same time, I always go back to Lucy on this one because Lucy knows that when she comes here, she's going to be vegan for a week.
Right.
Or for 2 weeks or however long that she's with us.
Yeah.
If we go out, she can order whatever she wants. But if we are cooking for her, which we do most of the time that she's here, we are not going to make animal products in our home.
Yeah.
So I see this as a similar thing. I just think that this needs to be more fully negotiated
Right.
within the family.
Yeah.
And again, I think it is great that they've gotten the kids to step up and do some of the cooking. That's amazing.
Yeah, I think that's cool.
Yeah, it's really, really great.
Yeah.
But, maybe make it a very specific schedule. Not only that, who is cooking on any given night, but that it is specifically a vegetarian night.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just so that it provides some structure.
Yeah.
And people are expecting those things. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. The brain trust that is the comment section
Wow.
in-
Okay.
in Reddit is overwhelmingly supportive of this person, not the asshat in most situations. And a lot of them, it's a lot of vegetarian hate. You know how vegans get a lot of hate like this too. Calling her preachy. Somebody made a suggestion. It said that it sounds like you solved the problem by cooking the meal vegetarian and then preparing meat separately. Why does that not work? And this person said, because it doesn't allow the girlfriend to be preachy.
Oh, good Lord.
Some person said that she's being passive aggressive. Some person said she's being controlling. So
I think without the full context of the relationship and what the actual interactions between people are, I think, the brain trust, as you call them, really, they don't have enough to go on to say those kinds of things. And I know it's the internet, and I know nobody cares about, reality and being reasonable or anything like that.
Yeah.
I get that. But at the same time, so I agree that this person is not an asshat.
Yeah.
I think they're doing reasonably well in finding a middle ground.
yeah, it does seem like they're trying
Yes.
anyway.
But I just think that the whole situation maybe needs to be a little more fleshed out and a little bit more structured in order to make it work for everybody.
Yeah, and I think that this person needs to understand that their decision to eat meat is not an ethical choice.
No, it's not.
And their partner's decision to not eat meat is completely an ethical choice. So
Yes.
when you put those two on a scale, I think if you have to respect your partner's ethics,
Yes.
you know?
Which is why I think, and we've had two examples in this asshat series
Yeah.
of the conflicts that can arise, the issues that can arise when one partner in a relationship is vegan or vegetarian and the
Yeah.
other one is not.
Yeah.
That it can cause some issues.
Yeah.
I mean, because we've said a number of times how much more challenging it would be to be vegan if it was only one of us.
Yeah, it would be really challenging, especially if that person had the attitude that this person has.
Right.
That, you know, that it, I don't know, they just don't seem to grasp the whole ethical vegetarian or ethical vegan
Yeah.
concept,
Yeah.
you know? So, yeah. But yeah, I don't think they're being an asshat. They need to be a little more understanding, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe some discussions about that need to happen.
Yeah.
Moving on.
This question comes from King Bugalug. Love the name, by the way. I think that's really
Great.
cute. All right. Am I the asshat for refusing to label my wedding cake as vegan because a guest felt tricked?
Oh, the wedding ones are always exciting.
Always fun. My husband, a 32-year-old male, and I, a 30-year-old female, had a vegan wedding because we're both vegan.
Makes sense.
Yes, it does. We made it clear in advance that the food and cake would be plant-based, and no one complained until the reception. The cake was gorgeous. 3 tiers decorated with edible flowers. Toward the end of the night, one of my husband's aunts, Linda, came up to me looking visibly upset. She said it was disrespectful to have a vegan cake on display because it felt like I was pushing my lifestyle on everyone. I told her the cake wasn't meant to make a statement. It was just the dessert we chose for our wedding. She insisted I either move the cake off the main table or add a sign saying it was vegan so people weren't tricked into eating it.
What's going to happen if you eat the vegan cake? I mean, are you going to die? I don't understand.
I don't know. I refused because 1, it was my wedding. 2, it's a cake, not propaganda. And 3, no one else seemed to care. Linda ended up storming out.
Oh my
and
God.
now my in-laws are saying I should have compromised to avoid drama.
No.
I think Linda's reaction was ridiculous, but my husband thinks I could have just put up a sign to keep the peace. Am I the asshat? Absolutely not.
No, absolutely not.
For all of the reasons you stated.
You listed.
Number 1, it's your wedding.
Yeah.
And that should have ended the conversation right there.
Yeah, but I love number 2. It's a cake, not
Not
propaganda.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Like, I want to put that on a sticker. I really
it's
do.
vegan cake, not propaganda.
No, it's cake. Like, you don't even need to specify that it's vegan. It's cake, not propaganda. Like, no cake should be seen as propaganda.
Yeah.
I love it.
That people were tricked.
And no one was tricked. If you were making it clear in advance that the food and the cake would be plant-based, which you stated that you did.
They're vegan, so of course everything there is going to be vegan.
That's right. Absolutely. So you are absolutely not the asshat. Your aunt-in-law, Linda, absolutely is, on the other hand.
Oh
So,
my God.
oh my gosh, just ridiculous.
The people that go to other people's weddings, you know, especially family members' weddings, and make a stink about something involving the food.
Oh my God.
I do not understand them.
It's crazy.
Can you just like keep it to yourself and go, you know, complain to your friends or something about the vegan cake?
Right. Because guess what?
but-
The day is not about you.
Exactly. Why would you ruin someone's wedding reception by insisting they move their wedding cake off of the main table?
Right. So, you know, King Bugalug, we're with you.
Yeah.
We are with you. You
with
are
you
not
all the way.
the
And-
asshat.
Yes, and all of the people on Reddit also said not the asshat. So insane. The wedding ones are always so over the top.
Right?
This person says you should have made up a sign, crotchety old lady, and hung it around her neck.
Okay, that's funny. That's funny.
Or put a sign by the cake that says Aunt Linda
Doesn't approve.
doesn't approve of this cake.
This cake is not Aunt Linda approved.
This is the last one. This comes to us from Land Tangerine.
Okay, then.
Am I the asshat for not having enough vegan food at my party? Yes, you are.
No, let us not.
I'm kidding.
Let us
I'm
not
kidding.
jump to conclusions, please.
I hosted a party recently for about 50 people. Well, wow. Good
That's
for
a
you.
lot. Yeah, seriously.
Late 20s, early 30s crowd. It was pretty casual, and aside from alcohol, I ordered a bunch of pizzas, had a charcuterie board, sandwiches, fruit, chips with salsa, guacamole, and queso, and a veggie tray with hummus that I got specifically because one of my friends is vegan. Oh, this is bad. I also had a few desserts, one of which happened to be vegan. 1 out of the 50 people at the party is vegan. And when the vegan dessert was brought out, I heard her make a comment, "Oh, good. Finally, something I can eat." Am I the asshat for not having enough vegan options at the party? I will say, no, you're not an asshat, but you needed to have a better vegan option. A veggie tray and hummus is not the only vegan option that you should have at a party.
Well, especially when you're talking about, pizza and sandwiches and
Yeah.
a charcuterie board for everybody else,
Right.
and only veggies and hummus for the vegan.
Yeah, so it's no wonder she said, "Good, something I can finally eat."
Right.
Because she could, what do you think she's going to fill up on carrots and hummus?
Right.
I mean,
exactly. So
I mean-
what you offered to the vegan was just a snack, whereas everybody
Yeah.
else was getting things that could count as a meal. And
Yeah.
so the distribution was just a little bit uneven.
Yeah.
Great that you had a vegan dessert, but you should have taken just a little extra time to make sure that perhaps among the sandwiches
Yeah.
there was a vegan sandwich, or that one of the pizzas had vegan cheese,
Yeah.
or something along those lines.
Yeah. Well, this one person did say the fruit and the chips and the salsa were probably the guacamole were
Sure.
probably also vegan, but again, not really a meal, right?
Right, exactly. So it's just the difference between you've provided snacks for one person and
Yeah.
you've provided meals for everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should get a vegan pizza.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
Get a veggie pizza, no cheese.
So asshat, no. Again, a slightly inconsiderate, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think as vegans, we've all been there where the only thing to eat is veggies and hummus.
Sure.
You know.
I mean, I just found out recently that the university I work at, when they do open house days and they have, prospective students coming to campus,
Yeah.
I just recently found out that they now have a table with gluten-free and vegan pastries,
That's awesome.
because they didn't used to.
No.
And so very recently, apparently, they've been making those adjustments, and it's really quite nice.
That is nice. You haven't brought me any vegan pastry.
Oh, sorry. No. I mean,
I'm kidding.
I barely have them myself. I didn't have any last time.
No.
2 times ago, I had there was like a whole grain vegan croissant with like a raspberry jam in the middle.
Yeah,
it was quite good.
You told me about that. It
Yeah.
sounds good.
Yeah.
That's really awesome that they're providing that now.
Yeah, it is. It is. So
Yeah.
very nice.
Yeah, so those were our vegan asshat scenarios. I think overwhelmingly people were not asshats, except for the guy that told the vegetarian to go buy his own food.
his own food. Yeah. And again, it was the snarkiness that tipped the scale.
Yeah.
Not the actual
Yeah.
food-related incident.
Yeah. And of course, the bride was not an asshat, but her Aunt Linda definitely
Absolutely was.
an asshat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Let's move on now to this week's assignment, Restaurant SOS.
This week, we're looking at Rise Above Pizza and Wings, located at 274 James Street North in Hamilton, Ontario. Recently, vandals smashed their front entrance and they're asking for the community's help as their insurance has a $3,000 deductible. We'll link to their GoFundMe in the show notes of this episode. Rise Above is an all-vegan pizzeria. They use only plant-based ingredients because they believe that it is possible to eat well without harming other species or our environment. Wherever you see cheese or meat mentioned on their menu, this refers to a vegan version of that ingredient.
Like Sam said, we will link to that GoFundMe if you would like to help out Rise Above Pizza, because That's just sad.
It really is.
Somebody smashed their door in,
Seriously.
you know? And I've seen that happen several times. And I don't know if it's people against vegans or
Yeah, I don't know.
or if it's just kids or vandals or what it is. But that's a lot of money to replace it's like a big glass door with, all of their logo and everything on it.
Yeah.
And a $3,000 deductible on their insurance.
That's substantial.
That really stinks. So anyway, yeah, we'll link to the GoFundMe. But let's look at their menu. I have a feeling there's going to be pizza on this menu.
There is pizza on this menu. First of all, of course, we've got some really fantastic, like traditional pizza shop kind of appetizers, like wings. What I love on the website is it actually shows which appetizers are now out of stock. So like they've sold out of their deep fried pickles for today, which I think is really great. True for the sour cream and onion rings as well. But some of these pizzas are really, really interesting. The one that is catching my eye like crazy is the Bang Bang broccoli pizza.
Oh, I bet that's really good.
Yeah. So this is their new Bang Bang sauce topped with a generous amount of broccoli, fried tofu, sesame seeds, and finished with crispy onions.
Yeah.
I'm all kind of there.
Yeah. And of course, a lot of their pizzas have really cute names like the Pepperoni Strikes Back or Killer Pineapples from Outer Space.
And that fits really well with their theme, Rise Above. When you go to their website, what do you call it? The wallpaper?
Yeah, like the background.
The background is the cosmos.
Yeah.
Which I think is really fantastic.
It's space related.
It is.
All kinds of really great pizzas. Satan Worshippers Pizza.
Mm-hmm. And then there are, of course, DIYs. So there's a DIY personal pizza and then a DIY large pizza. So you can choose all of your own toppings. They also have some really fantastic looking salads. This sesame ginger slaw looks amazing. Shredded carrots and cabbage mixed with chickpeas and fresh cucumber, dressed with our zesty sesame ginger sauce and topped with toasted sesame seeds.
Yeah. They look really substantial too. It looks like you get a lot of food. Which is yummy.
Yep. Fantastic.
And then they have subs and wraps. They're crispy chicken. It doesn't say chicken.
Funny.
Crispy the classic crispy, the parm sandwich, the phantom pizza sub.
The rise of the buffalo nugget wrap. I like that.
Yeah.
There's also a nugget bacon ranch wrap.
That sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
They have a BLT sub.
They've also got some pasta dishes.
Yeah.
Like the Triforce of Cheese pasta. Which is fusilli noodles tossed in their house-made bolognese, cheddar, mozzarella, and nabati matzo shreds, crowned with their house-made pasta topper and baked until golden brown.
Yeah. They have a pasta dish called the Nostromanov.
Nice. Nice.
Which is their take on classic stroganoff.
Indeed.
And Boba Fett Acini.
Sweet. You gotta love the humor.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, they have desserts too.
They do. They've got some asteroids, which are hunks of their house-made pizza dough, deep fried and tossed in stardust made from sugar, glitter, and cinnamon.
That's fun. Cherry piazzarotti, sweet and gooey cherry pie filling, wrapped up in their house-made pizza dough and deep fried. Oh, that's kind of like what
Sean did, his crack rolls.
Yeah.
Yeah. Taking peach or apple or cherry pie filling and putting them into egg roll wrappers.
At Good and Evil, they called them crack rolls. It was very similar.
But the sold out item on the dessert menu is the cookie pizza.
Yeah, that seems like a popular item.
Yes, the ooey gooey house-made personal size chocolate chip cookie pizza.
Yeah, so it's just like a big cookie.
Yeah.
They have a kids menu with all the things you would expect on a kids menu: mac and cheese, nuggies, 3 cheese pizza, a pickle po' boy, and kids veggies and dip. And they have soda pops and hard drinks.
Yeah. And they also sell their dipping sauces.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That is awesome.
It is. Love it.
We'll have to get up there next time we're in Hamilton.
Absolutely.
So it's Rise Above Pizza and Wings at 274 James Street North in Hamilton, Ontario. If you've been to Rise Above Pizza and Wings, send us a picture of what you got. Tell us about it. And we will enter you in to win a gift card from them in our vegan dinner winner contest. It's time for our favorite portion of the show.
Must be listener shout out time.
It's listener shout out.
Just want to give a shout out to all my fans watching. I love you guys. I love you.
This week's shout out goes to Sneakers and Jeans.
It's just one person, though.
It is indeed only one person, and that person is a new YouTube subscriber. Thanks for subscribing, Sneakers and Jeans.
Yeah, thanks, Sneakers and Jeans. I just like saying Sneakers and Jeans.
Well, that's also like the foundation of your wardrobe.
This could be
So
me.
I feel like you resonate with this person.
Yeah, this could actually be me.
It could.
But it is not. Send us your t-shirt size and address so we can send you a Compassion and Cucumber swag bag. You can either text us using the link in our show notes. You can email us at compassionandcucumbers@gmail.com, or you can DM us on Instagram or Facebook.
And for the rest of you out there, if you want a listener shout out, please text, email, or DM us. Let us know what you think of the show and tell us a little bit about yourself. You can also always nominate someone else for a shout out.
Absolutely. It is now time to wrap this up. But before we go, don't forget to please subscribe to the show and leave a review on your favorite podcast app. And subscribe to our YouTube, too. We're trying to grow our YouTube. And it's getting there. We're getting there. Also, be sure to like and follow us on Facebook and Instagram for updates about the show. We post pictures of the vegan food we find and a bunch of other stuff. And if you want to get news about upcoming episodes, you can do that by subscribing to our weekly newsletter at our website, which is compassionandcucumbers.com.
And with that, it's time to sign off.
It is.
You have just listened to episode 208 of the Compassion and Cucumbers podcast.
You did.
And there's nothing left to say.
There's not.
But where cukes and compassion are always the fashion on the podcast.
Thanks, James.
Have a great week, everyone.
We'll talk to you next Tuesday.
We love you.
We really do. Bye-bye.
The end.